Okay, excuse me. That is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2 hour weekly get together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And guys, welcome to Thursday night, August the 6th in the year of our good Lord 2026. And thanks for tuning in. I want to wish my wife a very happy anniversary today. Today's our anniversary, and I just wanted to say that. I'm sure she's not listening, but I will have to say it out loud. So anyway, I hope you guys have had a great week. The weather's been up and down, a lot of rain. Still very muggy, real muggy today out there. I hope you guys have had a good week and looking forward to a nice weekend. We got only a few weeks of the unofficial summer left. Labor Day is around the corner, which is the unofficial end of summer. While it doesn't end until September 20th or 21st, it is the unofficial end coming to it. So I'll get you in your last few weeks. For those of us who commute, enjoy the less traveled roads of all the people who are on vacations and school closings and all that, because that's about to change in about 3 weeks. So we'll have to put up with more 10 months of shitty traveling, but that's the norm, I guess, in our lives. And I hope everybody got out to Staten Island last night for the big man, Mom Donnie. Showed up at a Staten. Imagine your man, Mom Donnie, and somebody in the staff says, you should go to this event for the cops in Staten Island. Whoever told him he should go there should have been fired. I would even tell him, listen, bro, don't waste your time, man. Really, don't do it. Don't go. You're not going to be well liked. It's the one borough that you got nobody. And boy, oh boy, if you listen to the tape, the audio of it, holy cow! In 60 seconds, he bailed and ran, and he will regret that trip over to Verrazano for the rest of his career. So good for the faithful of Staten Island. You know, this is a guy who's made no slight to the fact that he hates the Italians. From the Christopher Columbus pictures, going to see all the statues and giving them the finger, to leaving the original Little Italy off of his map, of all the little around the little Somalia and little Uganda and whatever, and leaving out Little Italy, the original little of the littles. He has made it very clear he doesn't like Italians. He doesn't like the Jews, but he hates the Italians as much. So I'll tell you, I couldn't have been happy. It couldn't happen to a better guy. So if you're out there in Staten Island, you were out there and you booed him off the stage, I applaud and I clap and I'm happy for you. So I'm wondering why nobody's on. Jeff, my dad, I don't see anybody popping up yet. Let's see. Hold on a second. Maybe Jeff's running late. Let's see. Okay. Well, I get it. I don't know if is that the reason why they booed him, because he's Muslim or because he hates white people and Jews and Italians and anybody who's not one of those things. I don't think it's because he's Muslim. I certainly don't hate him because he's Muslim. I hate him because his policies just don't work, and it's showing up now. I don't want to get too deep into politics, but I'm kind of waiting on Jeff. Yeah, that's very true, Anthony. He does. I think he does hate non-Muslims, but his policies don't work. He made a huge bunch of promises, and I'll give you one. Like today, they came up with a number. One of these agencies came up and said, I don't know if it's $10 billion for 4 years or $10 billion a year that he needs to come up with in order to have child care for all. So theoretically, if you were a young family and you had to have child care or even adult care, you would get it for free and paid for by the government. But he has only been able to raise $1 billion total. Now, that's not even counting free buses, freezing the rents, all of that stuff that he promised that they estimate will cost $40 billion a year. He has not been able to come up with a piece of that. So right now, just childcare if your money, mine too, because I even don't live in New York, I pay taxes there because I work there. Your taxes for you all you live out there, he's got to raise at least $9 billion more in tax money somehow, or get it from somewhere, and the federal government ain't give it to him. He's got to raise that just to pay for universal health care. So, hold on, Matt, just for you. Thomas Brady, baby. We're going full Michigan tonight. We went full Michigan, Matt. Little Michigan. I went Michigan colors for you, kid. Well, let's get Jeff on right away. I want to get into the show, but I did want to open up a little bit. So, again, thank you to all you, the Staten Island faithful who booed the mayor, unfortunately, of New York City off the stage in 60 seconds. I am forever, ever, ever going to be grateful to anybody who was there. And I think it's amazing. So, again, let's get the show kicked off. And let me get my buddy, 40 years, Mr. Jeff, Blackest Sabbath, whatever, Talwinski. There he is. What's up, Hefe?
What's up, loser?
I don't know about loser. I think you're probably...
No. Let me start again.
Go ahead, please.
What's up, loser?
You must be dialing into the wrong show because
No. You're
I wear winners' clothes. I root for winning teams. It's all about winning on this side of the room, on this side of the camera. It's all about winning. Now your side, I pick like great governors, like the great Ron DeSantis. I got a great president. I got it all. I cover it all. Now,
well, listen. Your governor in Florida, he may be good. I don't know because he's kind of out of the news. I don't see him as much. Your president's a fucking twit. I love paying $4 and change a gallon for gas. I know that you're not paying much because your job pays your thing there. But
I still pay. I pay my fair share. I have a car that I use all weekends, and my wife uses during the week. So
okay, but I love paying $4 plus a gallon for gas. I hope it goes up to $6 or $7 a gallon by the time he's fucking done, this idiot. But that's not why we're here.
That's not why we're here. That's right. And Anthony, by the way, my Giants did not win last year. We do have 4 trophies on the shelf, though. Just keep that.
Wow. Well, listen. First of all, leave Anthony alone.
Okay.
He hit that right on the head.
Oh.
For that, he gets to say another thing without you just touching him. You can't even say anything. Guy's 100% right. He's a clairvoyant.
That's what you're going with?
What did the Giants do?
That's what you're going with?
No, I'm not going to. It's quite obvious. They did it themselves. Anyway.
My team is going to be a force this year. I mean, you know it. We all see it coming. We all see, it's like you got to the tracks and you looked right, nothing was coming, and then all of a sudden you looked left and you said, "Uh-oh, the train isn't coming. What do I do? Do I stand on the side of the road and get whipped by the smoke going by, or do I jump on and I latch on to the train?" And hopefully you'll be smart enough to latch on, because wearing those colors that you put on your head today is pathetic. You can't even say at this point with a straight face that you have any sort of thought that that team that wears that color has even a remotely chance with their quarterback room to be.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Were you saying something? I fell asleep. There was a lull in the conversation because you're spewing fucking nonsense.
I got a real coach, a real quarterback, a real defense, and possibly a real offense. So I'm not sure yet, but we're going to see. My team will win 8 or 9 games this year. I'm flat out telling you. Yes, my team will win 8 or 9 games, and come December 1st, we will be talking about, well, if they win 2 out of 3 games this next couple weeks, they can make the playoff. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Listen, if any team in the NFL wins at least 10 games, they'll probably make the playoffs. So you saying if they win 2 or 3 games, you've been saying they're going to make the playoffs for years. They just suck. You can say whatever you want. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care. They're going to suck. They're going to suck. If anything, the logjam is going to be the battle for the first pick in the draft between
No.
the Jets and the Giants.
No.
Oh
The
yeah.
Giants will not be in that mix. The Giants will be
Here we
so
go.
good
There
that
we
they'll
go.
be in the talk for the playoffs, but not bad enough to be in the top 10. That's where my Giants going to be. 14, 15, and I'm going to say, it was good. We're not going to get a great pick, but don't worry. We already got our team. We're ready. We're going to battle for years with this team. That's
Yeah, I know, because you're going to be in salary cap hell soon.
No, not this
Oh
team.
yeah.
Not
Oh
this
yeah.
team.
Oh yeah.
Not
Definitely.
this team. Nope.
Definitely.
We've got our quarterback under contract for another 3 or 4 years. You know, we got our running backs under contract. We're good. We got it all.
Are you done? Are you done?
See, even Matt, the Cowboy fan, agrees with me.
I don't give a fuck what Matt says.
Oh,
I don't
so
care
you-
what Matt says. I'm
well,
saying it right now.
But
I don't care.
Anthony,
I don't
you
care what he
about
says.
Anthony, but you don't care about Matt.
No. I like Matt. He seems like a nice guy. I don't care what he says. You know why I don't care what he says?
Because you don't, because it doesn't go with your thought process.
No, not at all.
Oh,
Not at all.
go ahead.
I said all I have to say.
That's it.
That's it.
I told you, folks. Don't expect
No,
much.
no. I'm not. Listen, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm about to pull my penis out and just let it flash across the screen for you.
Would anybody even notice it?
No.
Exactly.
Like a button.
Exactly. It's like I think his belly button popped out.
No, that's pretty deep.
Matt, I agree with you. I do think that it might come down to the Giants and the Cowboys. I think the Reds can take another step back, and I have no thought process. I think they'll be looking for a head coach.
I don't think the Redskins are going to be too bad, but I think it's going to be a logjam in that division.
I agree.
And it's going to be close. I don't think there's going to be a clear-cut winner, but everybody seems to be higher on Dallas than previous years.
I think that this could be one of those years where there's a lot of like 6 and 7, 7 and 6 teams in that division in December, where there's 3 or 4 games left and everybody's within a game or two. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't have a lot of faith in the Redskins, but they did pick up Diggs. You saw that they picked up Diggs today. They signed Diggs to a 1 year.
They've been talking about it and everything. Well, listen, Brandon Ayuk wanted to go there, but I mean, I don't think that anybody wants that fucking nut.
Yeah.
You know, my God, you want to talk? Is he actually trying to talk himself out of the league? Is that what his plan is?
I have no idea. That might be one of those guys who wants to get cut and take his contract with him. So
but in the process of doing that, nobody's going to want him because he's going to what he's doing to himself. And two, if I was the 49ers and if they don't have to pay him or whatever, he's on a suspended list or something, right?
I think so. I
wouldn't even let him go. I'd be like, you want to act like an asshole? Okay.
Who's in the Rams? I'm not sure who's beating the Rams. Man, I listen, I don't have a lot of faith in Chicago having another big year. So I don't know who is the biggest challenge. You know, their offensive line, while it's back this year, is very dinged up. You know, Dickinson, Lane Johnson, they're all getting older, not being healthier. So, Frankie, I agree with you. I do think there's some teams in the out west in the AFC who can challenge the Rams. I don't think the Rams are almighty. I know Matt's been a big fan, and Matt, you had them last year. They were the team, and Seattle came out of nowhere. While I agree that right now on paper they're very tough, especially with Myles Garrett, I'm not going to anoint them yet. But for overall, I do think they're the team to beat in the NFC. So again, I still until I put these teams on the field and you see it, I don't know what to expect. I think the NFC North could be one of the tougher divisions if the teams bounce from what they did last year. I don't see Minnesota being a tough team this year. I just don't. Not with their quarterback room. Bears did nothing to strengthen. Yeah,
I got to disagree with you about Minnesota. And I'm not saying that they're gonna win the division or anything else, but Kyler Murray has something to play for.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of Arizona, which is a blessing in disguise in its own right.
Sure.
But signed on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't drastically improve his play, he's never, he ain't going to get a big deal, and he's still young enough to get a decent deal. So
Sure.
I got a feeling that if he wins the competition over there,
Yeah.
that he'll play good or play as best as he can.
Uh-huh.
So, oh my God, I can't fucking believe it.
Is everything all right?
No, no. Sharon, my wife is family has an issue, and she was just texting me. It's very sad. It is what it is, but I don't want to say anything now. But
Okay.
it just like what she just texted. I was just like, wow. Uh,
I hope everything's
this
okay. If you need to bounce, just say it.
no. There's not much that we can do from here.
Okay.
I just think that he's gonna play hard. I'm not gonna say that they're gonna win 10 games, 11 games. I'm not saying that,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't think that they're gonna be a doormat. But that division,
No.
I think is a pretty decent division. I think they're going to be the last team in that division, but I think they're going to be a competitive team.
It's possible, and I will say this about Kyler Murray: that's a Frank Jeffrey. If Kyler Murray is going to wind up with a coach that could help him, I think O'Connell is one of those guys who is a quarterback whisperer, and I think he can absolutely positively help him. The problem I have with Kyler Murray is that will he put in the work, Jeff? And the problem is, up to this point in his career, he has not done the work. Now, I do expect him to start. I don't see McCarthy getting out of the box and playing well. I think he's had his opportunity there, and I would be shocked if he got another opportunity. I do think they go with Murray, but it's way too early. But I do agree with you. He's got some incentive, Kyler Murray, to play well, maybe get that one last decent contract, and I think he wound up in the right place to do that.
How old is he? Is he 30?
I would think he's a little past 30. I would, me look it up. I could tell you in a second.
Yeah. Look it up, because I hear what you're saying. I'm not going to say he's lighting up the league. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that he'll, take the step and he's going to look to make some money. So I think that he's going to have a good season. If you ask me,
he will turn 29.
29. So he has every incentive in the world.
Yeah. Next, in fact, tomorrow. Kyler Murray tomorrow is 29 years old.
Okay, so he'll be 29 for the season.
Yeah.
He has every incentive in the world to try to play hard and do what he can to get into good contract. Because if not, he'll probably be a backup and play for nothing for the rest of his career.
100%. And Matt, I know you're high on the Panthers and all of that. I still don't believe in their quarterback. I still just don't believe in that guy being a great quarterback in this league. We'll see. We could spot it out, and they're in a soft division, so that to me, there's no reason why they can't jump in there with the Saints and the.
A lot of people are high on the Saints too, thinking that the Saints are gonna take the next step. Not be a juggernaut in that division, that conference, but they're going to be a better team than they were last year.
Yeah, listen, it's possible, and I think that's one for me. That's a division that probably somebody wins it, at like 9-8 or even 8-9. I just don't see anybody who's really good in that division this year. They'll cannibalize each other.
Somebody's got to finish first.
Yeah, that's just it. But, I just don't see anybody standing out in that division. Now, again, it's all predicated on what we saw last year. And, Matt, maybe you're right. I mean, listen, Jacoby Brissett is slated to be the starting quarterback in Arizona, right? And he's got the audacity to hold out for more money. Now, this is a guy who by day is a backup quarterback, and after the team leaves, he collects all the towels and washes the towels before he leaves. Now he all of a sudden has a chance to be the starting guy by default, and he was holding out for more money. Now, I believe Beck will start tonight, and I agree with Matt. I think there's no incentive for the Arizona Cardinals not to start Carson Beck for the season. They're not going to win.
Jacoby Brissett had to do what he had to do, because if Carson Beck turns out to be the starter for the Cardinals and he works, then Jacoby Brissett's not going to be starting in Arizona next year. He's got to make his money while he can. And what better way to hold your team hostage and try to make it now? Because next year he may be a complete afterthought.
He's going to be a complete afterthought, because no matter what happens, see, a guy like Jacoby Brissett can hang in. I don't know how old he is. He's probably mid-30s, I think, at this point.
No, I don't think he's that old.
Check it, but I can check it real quick. But I think the problem with Jacoby Brissett is just settle into the role. Be that guy. Like you're just going to finish up your career. I think like Jameis Winston has kind of fallen into that now. Like he just expects he's going to be a backup. He is 33 years old.
Yeah, so he still has time,
He'll
but
be
he's
34
not.
this year.
He is exactly what he is. He's never going to be a star
Yeah.
in this league. He's not going to be a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah. No, but again, some guys are just built for that role, and that's where that's the lane you got to pick. So, and then maybe you want to move into coaching, be an OC or get to be quarter.
He had balls for doing what he did. What was he like? 1-11 last year.
I mean, just what?
Yeah, the future isn't exactly bright for this guy, but knowing that this may be his last chance to start in this league, you haven't convinced anybody to sign you long term and be a starter, but he's got to try to make his money while he can.
Yep. And to Matt's point tonight, the unofficial opening to the season with the Hall of Fame game, which used to be on a Sunday or a Saturday, and then they'd have it on the week. I don't get the NFL. Used to be on a Saturday, and then Sunday you'd have the inductions, or it was Saturday was the inductions, and they played the game on Sunday. Now it's like a whole production on a Thursday night. I hate the NFL. I swear to God, I hate the NFL.
It's all about money, bro. It's all about money. That's what it's all about. That's all they care about.
To me, I get it. The kids are off for school and all of that, but people work. So let's say I actually had an interest in watching this game, and I don't. I'd rather find the guys betting on the 2 fat kids in Bolivia chasing the butterfly. I would rather watch that than this game tonight. But let's say I had an interest in it, Jeff. Wouldn't it be nice if it was a Saturday afternoon and I could watch the game instead of having to stay up till 11 o'clock tonight to watch the end of a game with the undrafted free agent at a jerk off state is getting in to play quarterback tonight? Like, I don't get it.
Welcome to preseason football. You'll see maybe a handful of plays in the first quarter with the starters if you're lucky.
Oh my God!
If you're lucky,
yeah. If you're shocked.
And this is the way it is. The NFL doesn't look at it that way. They're bringing you exciting new young players, new talent, people that may be the stars of tomorrow. Okay, and they are right on certain levels, but it's all about making money. They don't care. They don't care who's on the field right now. All they know is that somebody bought those tickets to go watch these games.
Yeah.
That's all they know, and that's all they give a fuck about it. Is that they paid, right. They got somebody to pay for those tickets. Now, me personally, I'll tell you what I feel bad about. The people that pay for these tickets.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The people that pay and then to say, oh, I got tickets, I'm taking my kids to the game, $200 a piece. Okay. So you're taking Junior to a football game. But after the first round, first set of plays in the first quarter, you're not even gonna know who the fuck it is.
Yeah, to me, I would rather them play like an old timers game of like touch football than this game. I think it's the most ridiculous game to play. It's too early, and you're not going to see any quality football out there. And it's just to your point, it's just a dollar and cent show, and I have no interest in it. No major sports care. Yeah, of course not, Frankie. None of them care. It's all about money, and I get it. Listen, it feeds the beast, but you got to kick a little something to the fans. You got to kick a little something, and again, they won't until we stop watching. Until we stop paying attention.
That's never going to happen,
and it's 100%
never ever going to happen.
Correct. No matter how many times they beat on us, we are going to take it and say, please, some more.
You know what? You might not watch, and I might not watch, but I bet you Frank and Matt are going to watch tonight, and they're probably going to be happy to watch it.
Oh, yeah, no. Listen, I couldn't agree with you more. And there'll be a lot of people watching. There'll be
and they're not wrong. They're not wrong for watching it because they're fans of the game.
100%.
The only thing that I could say, okay, is that when it comes to football, you know who your major stars are, your major players are. Mm-hmm. These are guys that are trying to get on the team any which way they can, even if it's, special teams. Whatever they got to do, they're trying to get on the team. They may never play again in the NFL. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But the NFL doesn't care because the money that they're collecting is very real. The players may not be real enough, but the money they're getting is real, and they're getting a lot of money from these games, and the networks are getting money, and unfortunately, people are paying for it. So when there's a family there tonight paying like $10 for a soda or $12 for a pretzel, it is what it is. It's a
Yeah.
shame, but it is what it is.
It is what it is for sure. And like I said, like we both say, people will still show up, people will still tune in, and it'll be they'll do it every year the same way. They ain't gonna care. So
It's the same thing. This is something that I don't know how you feel about this. When they have preseason baseball, okay,
yep.
springtime baseball, spring league, whatever, grapefruit league, whatever you want to call it, spring training, nobody really complains much about it because there's what, 20, 30 games that they're playing?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but in the NFL, it starts off with 3 games and it's a 17-game schedule. Okay, everybody wants to make their money. So in the 3 preseason games, you should already know before the first kickoff that you're not going to see much of the main players of these teams.
Yep.
They're going to be busy getting hurt in weeks 2 and 3, early on in the season because the NFL's not the same anymore. The Jets, they just started their camp. They already had yesterday off. I think the Giants, they said that today or tomorrow they're not going to be practicing with pads on. What happened to the days when they would practice for 2 times a day, whatever the temperature was, and now they get treated with kid gloves and they're not ready to go in the beginning of September.
We've talked about this for years. Since the union got involved and they changed the practice schedule and you can't do certain things and you can only do certain things certain days. And yeah, it's definitely affected. Nobody's going to tell me anything different that the NFL, the quality of NFL football in September is the same as it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm not even going back to the 70s. It is not. It is sloppier. There is worse. Tackling is terrible. The amount of soft tissue injuries are crazy sometimes because guys are just not used to hitting. You build up hitting in camp. We all did it growing up when you played football. You started out, you did a little, you did a little blocking, you did some one-on-one tackling, and you built yourself up to by the time you played the regular season game, your body is used to the pounding. And these guys are premier athletes, and they're sissies. Listen, there's some great players, don't get me wrong. But you hear some of them about, the camp was too long. Man. You used to do 3-a-days back in the day. Come on, man.
Listen, I got to disagree with part of your statement. When we were kids, there was no preseason in camp. You went out, want to play football? And you went out and you played football.
Those of us who played in the leagues and even
at that, there wasn't much of a slowdown from not playing to playing. We all did it like, it's softball season. Let's go play softball. It's baseball season. Let's go play baseball. No, I haven't jumped in years, but let's go play basketball up at the playground.
Yeah.
And then if you sat down, what are you, a fag? Let's go. And you had no choice. And you know what? I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it.
Yeah.
These people are highly tuned machines nowadays.
Yes. Yep.
And they're playing for a 17-game race.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to do it like, this is 3rd and 3 in a preseason game and we need to make a statement. Nobody cares what your statement is because if that guy gets hurt, that's it. And there's already been a couple injuries to some players. Guys blowing their knees out. There was one. Who was the first guy that went down? I think he was on Atlanta.
Yes,
right? And his knee, like he was blocking a offensive lineman. Offensive lineman was blocking
and
him,
the union
and he went right down.
Say we're doing an investigation to see if they were practicing illegally. It's ridiculous. But again, the quality of play in September, and nobody cares. Let's be honest. Most people watching the NFL today watch it because of fantasy football or betting. Excluding Matt, because he watches it for betting, but Matt's an old school football fan. But most people watch it today. The vast majority of the young people, they're not true diehards to their team. Like my sons are Giant fans, right? But if you went to their houses, they got on like what's the red zone, because they're watching all the game. They want to see the touchdowns. They want to see if they cover their bets. They watch the Giant game a little, but they're more interested in that. Whereas me or you or Frankie Catalano, we watch our teams and we do those things. So it's different. I'll watch a football game for a football game. If I want to bet it, that's a different story. So the problem for the NFL is nobody cares what it looks like in September. Because
while you're
nobody cares.
I agree with you 1,000% what you're saying.
Yep.
The thing is this: NFL Red Zone did not exist when we were kids.
100%.
When we were younger. So now you're used to watching football a certain way for over 50 years.
Yeah.
At this point in time. Okay. Now, if we were 15, 16 years old and we're starting to watch football, and then all of a sudden now we have NFL Red Zone, and we're like, whoa, this is a different story. I could see a little bit of all of the games, because there were teams that you would go maybe a couple seasons without seeing. If they didn't play your team or they weren't the Monday night game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
You didn't see them. There was no ESPN. If it wasn't on 2, 4, or 7, you didn't see it.
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs, so they play the Jets and the Giants. You might not see them for a whole season.
Yeah, that why, I remember watching certain teams when I was a kid, like the Atlanta Falcons was one of the first playoff games that I remember watching.
Steve Bartkowski.
Yep, exactly. And then I was like, wow. By the time I saw them again, it was like Matt Ryan was playing for them. Like, completely different quarter. Like, what happened to Steve Bartkowski? And it's just the way that it was. It's it's so different now that you can see pretty much every game. And the Red Zone, they just show Red Zone plays, don't they? As the game is going on?
No, well, sometimes, but even like the later games, they'll pick it, like there'll be maybe 3 games in the 4:30 or 4 o'clock market, and they may pick up a team when they cross midfield. I know they say that they don't, but they definitely don't always pick just the red zones. Later on, early on when there's a lot of games, they usually do. Let's say that nobody's in the red zone, they'll pick up a game anywhere that I've seen. I don't watch a lot of red zones, so
I don't have it. So, and I'm not paying for football.
I get on a normal Sunday, if everybody is where they're supposed to be team wise, I get the 2 New York. I get the 2 New York games. So sometimes let's say it's a doubleheader here. I also get Eagle games and Steeler games. So. Okay. So I get to see sometimes 4 or 5 games in a day without having any sort of special streaming services or whatever. I agree with a lot of things you guys are saying, but the bottom line is the bottom line is always the bottom line. People love NFL football, and a lot of people are addicted to it. And this is just a preseason game. Yes, it's a packed house. Matt, it's a special game because, first off, the NFL makes you buy the tickets, right? So if I got tickets and I don't want to go to the game, I'm going to give it away to somebody. Somebody's going to want to go to a free game. 2, this is the NFL Hall of Fame game. So there's a lot of people in town. There are thousands and thousands of people who show up to go to the NFL Hall of Fame for this weekend. It's packed. So all those people want to go to the game. All right. So while I know it's packed, it's Arizona and Carolina. And if you're telling me that this was a Thursday night game in Arizona or Carolina, that it would be a packed house, you're crack addicted beside being, bet addicted.
Well, how about this? Who the fuck wants to go watch Arizona and Carolina play, period? No matter what unless it was playoff implications and both teams are going to the playoffs and it's seeding implications, who wants to sit through that? That's rough.
Right.
That's rough.
Now think about the first game of the preseason. None of the starters are playing. Who's going to see Carolina and the Panthers on a Thursday night anywhere? Nobody. So, again,
you're talking one team. Who knows? They're fighting for the first pick in the draft next year with the Cardinals, and who knows what's going to end up happening with the Panthers? Nobody's really picking them to do much. And another team that might be a middle of the road team at best. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they were playing tonight, first of all, and I didn't know that those two were playing each other.
I did not know that. I knew the game was coming up tonight, and because I read the newspaper every day. But first off, my cable system again lost another channel. So for years now, I haven't had Comcast, so I don't get. I have Comcast. I don't get to see the Ranger games or Knick games unless they're national. So I lost my MSG because they have the contract issue. Now they lost the NFL Network contract. So now I don't get anything from the NFL Network. So
Wow.
yeah, again, I don't care in the long sense.
Well, I'm surprised that would even happen with the money that's being generated by the NFL today.
100%. Yeah,
That's
100%.
amazing that even got to that point.
I agree. So I watch most games, but nobody's going to tell me that if this game was being played in Arizona or Carolina on this day, first game of the season, first preseason game of the season, that it's a packed house. No, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. The NFL got bought by ESPN and Disney. That's why it's on the apps. Yeah, I'm not paying for any more apps to watch. The same NFL insiders. I refuse. So if I miss a game because it's on the NFL Network, then I miss a game. That's their loss, not mine. If it's a Giant game, they have to show it local anyway. I'll see it on channel 5 or 11. But if it's another game and I miss it, they can have it. I'm not paying for another app to watch 2 games a season or whatever. They can have, and they're not getting more money out of me. So hold on. Let's get my pops on. He's been hanging.
I hope he wasn't hanging his whole time.
No, he got on a little late, but I did.
Okay.
It seems to be an issue because I can't see his face. So hold on. Let's see. Adam. Let's see if he's on there. Hey, Pop, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
Really?
You're just a big dot in the middle of the screen, but we can hear you.
You look like a Pokemon.
Well, you know what? It looks like an episode out of Star Trek. Like one of those things that it would flash on the screen.
Talking, right?
Yeah, they're talking like an orb in the middle of the universe. But go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, I see. I've been watching all along.
Oh yeah,
I see the little camera on the bottom, on the left.
I'm gonna have to come. I'm gonna have to come over and.
No big deal.
Yeah, I got to come over and get your camera working. But go ahead.
This is too much, man. I'm sorry.
What's going on, Pops?
I was waiting for Jeff to pull his pants down.
Nobody else
want to see that.
Nobody else is looking for that, Pop. Please don't.
No, I agree with you guys to say, if you could see the handwriting on the wall, they already told you what they want to do.
Sure.
They want to take the Knicks, the Giants, the Jets, all New York teams, but the Nets, the Mets, and have like on ESPN. So you buy a package and you show it.
Well, they've already done it. They have the Gotham app, which has the Nets, the Yankees, the Knicks, the Rangers. They can't do the NFL teams, though. The NFL teams can't be on anything because the NFL owns the rights. But those teams all have an app that you can buy. It doesn't include the Nets or the Mets at this point. But the Gotham Sports app, you pay for the app and you get, or I guess, all the games or a majority of the games.
But so, you see, even the Yankees with this Prime thing. First, they just started it on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, you had to have Prime. It was for free.
Yeah.
All right, for the time being.
Yeah.
Then the playoffs came around. Now they started with the playoff. One game.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, the NFL,
little by little, they're going to tell you it's going to cost you $5 more, $7 more.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, I know the NFL, they already have some playoff games that are on like Peacock. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's either I think there's a Friday game opening weekend, if I'm not mistaken, and that might be one of those Peacock or Prime games. And I also think the Black Friday game, the Friday after Thanksgiving game that they're playing now. There might be several games. I think some of that might be on like Prime, one of those streaming services. So
they know the more they slap you, the more you're going to come back for more. And that's with people. They yell, they bellyache about it, but yet they'll pay the money to watch it.
Yeah. Well, again, you know what it is that Matt said it pretty right. People are addicted to it. I mean, again, between there's still a lot of diehards, guys like us who love to watch the NFL. So we bend a little bit. You get most of those guys. Then you get all the young kids who are big fantasy fans, and now with the betting, it's a rolling freight train. They can print money. People will buy all these crazy jerseys. People will pay for all these packages, whatever they need to do to watch a game, and no matter how many games they put on TV, no matter how many games they put on a streaming service, no how many days of the week it is, they haven't had a day where they went, nobody watched the game. When they start to the point where they go,
watches them. Everybody watches it no matter what day the games are on.
That's the point. It doesn't matter the matchup. Listen, nobody's going to tell me that they think that the quality of the NFL has been the same the last 20 years. Since they went to this whole, let's make it very competitive, nobody's telling me that the quality of football in the last 20 years has been the same as before. It's not. You have some good teams. You'll have maybe have a couple of great teams. But there is a huge gap between the great teams and the below average teams in this league. There's no more of those days where, there were some really, really good teams, some great teams, some good teams, and a couple of bad ones. Now there's a lot of bad and a couple of good and a couple of great. And everybody else is just mediocre. And that's just
and something that you forgot, just because you're a bad team this year, next year you got the opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
100%.
These teams are flipping on a dime.
Absolutely. You can turn this.
One or two good picks and a free agent signing. Next thing you know, bang.
It's
a success.
And it's just, Jeff, here's the other part of that, though. The other part of that is not only what you do to make your team better, the other teams in your division are jettisoning contracts, jettisoning players. So now all of a sudden, the teams that were tops in your division, now they've gotten rid of 4 or 5 of their best players because they can't afford to pay them anymore. And now they've just took a nosedive. So not only did you get a little better, they got a lot worse. So
yeah, of course, but they want to pay these guys. This is the owner's fault. Yeah. When you want to pay a quarterback $50-60 million a year, and then you can't understand why you can't get anybody to play, your quarterback sucks, and you're paying your starter like $13 million a year. What do you think you're going to get?
Look at this way. So let's say your salary cap's 225, 250. Let's use 250. It's in that ballpark, right? So your $250 million salary cap. You're giving your quarterback $50 million a year right now. The best corners are getting $31 million a year.
And
then you're paying your left tackle in the 20s. So you've already committed $100 million to 3 players of 22 starters plus special teams and all that. You've committed half your salary cap to 3 players. How do you expect to field a good team? I've said it from the beginning. The beginning of the end of that was the Kirk Cousins deal to the Vikings. That $230, $40, $50 million contract that was guaranteed was the first of the nails in the coffin. And until they straighten it out, until they get a few quarterbacks, because now you're forced to play the young kids because you can't pay your veterans for forever. That's the problem.
No, and these people aren't, listen, it is what it is. And I understand that it's a win now league, so people are going to pay now to win now.
Yes, absolutely.
But while you could rearrange a deal so that years 2 and 3 are affordable, that's your window.
Yes,
that's your window. And now all of a sudden, year 3 comes around in somebody's contract, and the whole team is fucked because it went, so high. It's just unbelievable. But until the owners say that we're not paying this anymore, it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, it's the rarity nowadays, Dad, where teams like the Patriots last year, maybe I'll even throw the Chiefs in, where teams put together a 5, 7, 10-year run where they're consistently either playoff teams or on the cusp of playoff teams. Nowadays, look at the Eagles. They had 2, really good years, and then it's been slowly declining. So it just doesn't happen anymore, right, Pop?
It's not the same.
No.
And shouldn't be the same, but they made it not football anymore. It's almost like touch tackle.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem. Yeah, Frank Jeffrey just said it too. And he's right. The CBA, the agreement that the union and the NFL came up with, they changed everything around. And these guys are just not prepared. And it takes till mid-October before you start to see guys playing really good football. Or let me say teams. You'll have some guys who are prepared, but you'll see teams finally start to gel when you hit October because basically September is training camp. Those are the preseason games, Jeff. It's been a fact for years now.
Of course. Listen, the players need a X amount of time, whoever they are, to get ready. Okay, no matter how much work they do in the off season, that as hard as they train in the off season, they can't be training the same way as they do when the NFL starts and the games start. And it's the same thing like Aaron Rodgers. Well, Aaron Rodgers is going to be 43 years old this year. He may play maybe a series. He may play first, second down. He'll go out there, hand the ball off, and then next thing you know, he's off the field. Like, where did he go? Did I miss it? And there's no rush. There's no need to rush these guys in because they're not getting the time that they need. So if you rush them in and they blow out a knee in August or beginning of September, your team could be screwed. It happened to the Jets a couple years ago with Rodgers. Everybody knows that. But it just, I don't know. They should just cancel the 17th game, go back to 4 preseason games. At least it was a little bit of a better way for them to get started than it is now.
Yeah, again, it's never going to happen. I think there's a better chance of seeing 18 games than ever seeing 16 games again. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I don't know, Pop. We all sit there. We're going to complain, but guarantee you, September 13th, we'll all be sitting in our chair watching the Giants in their first game. And if they have a good season, we're going to care nothing about it. If we get a playoff teams out of the Jets and the Giants, and we won't care about prime. We won't care about training camp. We won't care about salary caps. We all want to root for our team. I think of all of us, I think Catalano's team's got the best chance. I think the Broncos have the best chance.
Oh, God, no, please don't say that.
They do. Listen.
No.
But again,
please jinx them or something, please.
The problem is consistency. The problem in this league is you could be great like they were last year. No, don't forget, the Broncos were teetering. If the Giants didn't blow that game, there's a pretty good chance that their season bottoms out the Broncos. So the Giants blowing a 29-point league, I believe, set them off on their run. Now, if Knicks doesn't get hurt, they may be playing for the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Yeah, so sadly, who the fuck knows? I hope not this year, though, because I want to. Is that him answering? I hope that's him answering.
No, that was Frank Jeffrey. Frank Jeffrey agreed with me that he said the Dolphins were on the clock.
The what?
The Dolphins were on the clock.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, Pops. I'll
talk to you over the weekend.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Pops. You got
it. Mr. Florio.
That's my daddy checks in every week, and we'll have to have him. And the good news is we didn't have to worry if he had a shirt on or not this week. Cause
man, maybe he's got something in front of the camera. Who knows? I mean, the orb spoke.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was like an episode of Star Trek.
What was the Star Trek? Remember the one where they had the captain or whatever he was, and he had the scar on his face, and he just sat. It was part of like the chair or something.
Yes,
you remember that one?
Yeah, Captain Pike.
Okay, that was like your dad. Your dad was the captain of the episode for a minute there. But it was funny because as he's talking, its thing is going like this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there was a Star Trek episode once where they got into some galaxy, and there was like a star, and the star would like would pulse every time it spoke, and it was speaking to them and warning them of something, and that's what I just saw. Like, I'm seeing my dad just doing this.
Your dad is a Trekkie?
I guess I'm telling you, he has more problems with his computer than you could ever. I go there sometimes once or twice a week just to fix issues with the computer, and it's usually nothing, but it's
well, listen, say what you want. At his age, he's able to get on the computer.
That's true. It's very true.
I'm using my iPad for the show for the last number of months.
Yes.
Because I can't figure out what the fuck is wrong with my computer. So I found out. I got good news last night. I was talking to a friend, and the guy that we used to know is back in the business of fixing computers. So I was like, find out from him if I could bring a computer to him and get it fixed, because all I needed for. All I needed for was just for the show.
Okay.
But I can't get in on it, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Hard Rocket Sports, that's Jeff, and I'm Tom. We're here every Thursday night, and we love this. We get ready for a big football season, even though tonight's game's going to suck. Who cares? It's still the NFL's kicking off. Frank, Jeff, you're right. The Giants are definitely a bubble team. I think there's a lot of bubble teams this year. Catalano, you should thank us because we set you off. If not for that injury to Bo Nix, you guys are playing in the Super Bowl. And yes, if the star child is Paul Stanley. So right, he is on the ball with the PC. Yeah, he does okay. I have to warn him all the time, Dad, don't press nothing you don't know. Because he gets all these crazy emails, and I usually try to go there and I try to spam things and move things around. And boy, oh boy.
Yeah, but when there's hot Asian girls in your area that want to meet you, Dad at the end of the day is still Dad. You don't know. Yeah, and midget porn. Frank Catalano, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Midget porn. God.
Oh, boy. But again, so not too much coming out of camps. I know the Lions just signed Jahmyr Gibbs. He got a 3-year deal. Good for him. He, to me, it's funny. You said it 10 years ago. Everybody was throwing 50 times a game, and you said, "Don't worry, the running game. It's was it the word centrifugally cylindrical is the right word. It's cylinder. Basically, everything comes back around, and it is now the NFL. The running backs are back in the big rage, and I guess two of the best players in the league right now, if you wanted to say, is probably Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Usually it's been the wide receivers or the quarterbacks. But I think at this point, you might be pointed to those two guys as the best teams, the best players on their teams and in this league. So I think
it's hard to disagree, but I'll tell you the truth. Anthony, please, I got to remember to bring it on Sunday for you to look at it. That's one thing. And second, Tommy, Jahmyr Gibbs is such a small-looking little guy.
Yes.
I would be afraid of him being the focal point of my offense. I mean, they have a lot of offensive firepower, the Lions.
Well, a little less now with Montgomery leaving, but yes, they still.
Yeah, but they want to make Gibbs the feature back.
Yeah, and he already was. He was just he would get spelled for a series every so often, and Montgomery. But yeah, he's the feature back. He's had great seasons. He could take it to the house on any given play. He's just me. I love watching him play.
He was absolutely excellent last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know why?
Yeah, I know why, dickhead. Yes, we all know why. You got your whole season was bent on the fact that that one pick ahead of me taking him. You stuck your big trap in there. And took
listen, you should have told me off to the side.
No, I
would have respected that.
I would have
respected that.
Bullshit. You would have just took him faster, just with a bigger smile on your face, you prick.
I would have not have touched that, but you weren't right behind me, so somebody else would have grabbed them anyway.
And I've told you this. I'm making a prediction. The Hard Rocket Sports team is rocketing to the top this year. I'm actually going to try this year. The last few years, I just said I mailed it in. I made sure my team was there, but this year, I'm coming for blood.
Well, then may I make a prediction?
Please.
I don't care if I win 2 games, as long as I beat you in the games that I play, that is a successful season for me.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, there's 2 teams in this. Okay. It's just a commercial until we get back on the field. You, Tommy Florio, I want you, baby. You.
You're going to get it. Not opening weekend, but you're going to get it. And I'm looking forward to it.
You know the schedule already? You don't know the schedule, do you?
I think I saw the schedule out already. I think I open up, I guess actually it's my stepdaughter, I think, opening weekend. So I didn't really go through it. I got home a little late. I have to check on something for Frankie, which I will do after the show.
And please, by the way, any more emails that you send,
Yep.
Let me know that they're there. I didn't know that.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I go on my iPad to clean out emails. And then all of a sudden I see a bunch of them. But whatever's going on, I'm in.
No, you're easy because I talk to you all the time. So I don't get to talk to you.
I'm just telling you that, and that's fine. But anything that I need to know, just say, go check your emails or something, and I'll check it. League stuff or whatever. Because I don't want to be left out either and be like, what do you mean I got to pay $400 or something,
No, what's one of the good things this year is there's a lot of guys already talking trash. Nicky Marino's been talking trash. Dominic Mansueto's been talking trash. So
where's this talking going on?
Well, it hasn't gone on online yet. I'm gonna try to start a little group somehow. And so we can kind of talk trash a little bit easier. Emails are tougher to talk trash. I was with Dominic a couple times the last couple of weeks, and Especially last night, he was talking a little bit of trash. So he's looking forward to it. Jeff is very animated tonight. I wonder. Jeff, Matt wants to know, did you have 2 cups of coffee tonight? He thinks you're very animated.
What am I sitting here minding my own business? What am I doing?
Yeah, but I think the NFL so far, I mean, again, it's only a week or so into camps, has been kind of quiet. Nothing major. You probably won't. I mean, obviously, Stephon Diggs finally signs a deal. Gibbs gets his contract. You hear that Tua is ahead. Tom, when can I send you money? Frank Catalano, there's no rush. I gave everybody till week 4 this year to pay their money. So whenever you want to send it, you send it. I've collected from Dom. I think I've collected 4 or 5 already.
How much is it? 75?
We took it to 75. So
okay.
The breakdown, I think Frankie and I agreed on the breakdown is 400 to the winner, 300 to second, and 200 to the third place team. So there's a little more incentives, there's a little more money involved. I think it's it's a nice little haul at the end. If you threw up $75 and you can walk away with 400, God bless you.
It's nice as it would be to win, of course.
Frankie Zell, I don't do Venmo, so it's Zell.
Whatever money you could win is great.
Yeah.
But it's everything leading up to it. I love doing the draft. That's a lot of fun. Wow, the draft is just sometimes there's too much going on, and you keep putting people in your queue, and then you're watching everybody else take them before you can make the pick. Just kind of like last year when I took Jamal Gibbs from you, and it was great. I wish you could have fucking replayed that one. You motherfucker!
I had him all queued up. I see him falling and falling. I got him. I got my guy. And all of a sudden, I see him come up and the biggest fucking jerk off smile in the world right in front of me. So I told Frankie, please don't do it on a Thursday because I want to be able to concentrate on the draft. The last couple of drafts we did while we were on the air, I want to do the draft, where I can concentrate. I don't have to entertain or inform or tell anybody anything. I want to do it. And he said, no problem. So
are we going to do it? Are we going to do it on this platform again?
Ken, you and I could do that so we can kind of bullshit while we're doing it. That's fine.
Yeah,
I just don't want to have to do a whole show and all that. So
that's fine. And whoever else would want to do that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna put it out there. If anybody wants to join us, they can join us. We'll throw up a link, but we're not going to do a real show. It'll just be
that's fine. That's fine because it's fucking fun.
Oh, sure.
Watching the guy, like just last year, I didn't know that you wanted Gibbs.
No.
I didn't know. And it was so great to know that I snatched him. That's what made it so great.
You snatch Gibbs, you draft at least one other player. And I went, motherfucker.
Oh, no, there was more than that. I got like 2 or 3 guys that you were like, you motherfucker, that was another one. I remember that. It was great.
Yeah, there was at least another player. All right, Catalano, I will check my thing and let you know. And at the end of the day, I will mark you in the book paid. Thank you very much. Just check in with Joe Fro. Make sure he's still good. I think he did already. So, we've got 12 teams. We've got 3 new teams, 3 new managers in the league. So it should be pretty fun. I'll set no major rule changes. Everything basically stayed the same. Just like I said, at the end of the year, and the only person who complained about it is Matt. For some reason, Matt, he's got a problem with it being a keeper league, but whatever. You don't have to hold on to anybody. You can let go your whole team and start over again next year. If you want to hold a player, you can 2 players. You can hold the players. If you don't want to hold them, you can release everybody and move on. It just gives you the option. If you got a good guy, you hold on to them.
Are you still looking for another team?
At this
Anthony's
moment,
looking in.
Not yet. No, right now, if as far as I know, we Catalano got his godson in. So we had one opening. Joe Dorada bailed out. I asked a couple of people. I got told no, and I put it out there, and Catalano jumped on it. And so his, I believe it's his godson, Vinny, will be joining us. So we got 3 new managers or coaches. And a lot of the same people back. So we'll look at. Thank you. Thanks to everybody for popping up and being part of it. And if anybody else backs out or a team becomes available, I'll let you know right away. So, but our draft is September the 7th, which is Labor Day at 8:00 at night. So everybody keep it open. And after that, Frank Catalano, I will start a text chat before the season, maybe after the draft. And if guys want to pop up there and talk crap, they can talk. Maybe I'll do it on Messenger. You know, I like doing it where people
Is it safe? Is it safe for Frank Catalano to get a hold of your phone number? Yes or no?
Frank Catalano, I believe he already has my phone number. And if he doesn't,
He may be sending you Broncos paraphernalia all night long. I don't need that.
Boy, I'm looking forward to it. I do enjoy this time of year. Hey, Catalano, I got to ask you real quick. How did you feel on your Mets selling it off? I thought it was a great job by them. I mean, obviously they got to fix the problems now and not have this again next year. But I thought they got some quality prospects back, and I think it's maybe a little boost to the morale in the clubhouse. And you have to admit now I was right. You know, there's been a whole thing now. Peralta brokering peace between Soto and Lindor. You got to admit I was right. There was an issue there. I still think there's an issue, but I was right about it. Just be honest with you now. Come on now. You got to give me my credit. You fought me on it before. Now you got to admit I was right. So it was a whole big thing about how he was able to broker something there. Jeff, you suck.
What? Well, Frank, I don't want to listen, I probably don't have a problem when you have my phone number until the Bronco tide starts rolling in. And I don't need that. I really don't need that.
Well, what you need is a couple game winning streak, a couple game winning streak, and then a couple losses by the Jets, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll be hunting them down to kill them.
Yeah, Frank. Well, again, let me ask you a question. Would you be happy if Bichette did not take the player option? I think he's going to, but would you be happy if Bichette doesn't take the option and moves on next year?
What about the Yankees? Did they do enough to do anything?
Well, you know, I like the two bats they picked up. Not terrible. They didn't get a catcher, but from all things, there wasn't a catcher gone that I would say was a game changer for me. And I love the kid Lombard so far. He brought up this young shortstop, and he's made a major difference in 2 games. I mean, he just looks the part. First hit is, I don't know if it was his first at bat but his first hit was a home run. Yeah, I mean, did they do enough? If they get Judge back and healthy in enough time, and they get Rodon and the pitching staff's healthy, the Yankees can make a run. Are they good enough to beat the Dodgers? I don't know. I'm not sure.
The Dodgers seem to have a hold on being the best team in the league for what, almost 10 years now.
Well, it's they're the new modern version of the old Yankees, where they would just spend. And the difference with the Dodgers is they do such a good job of taking their prospects and turning them into something. I mean, they just took a bunch of guys and turned around and got one of the best pitchers in baseball and added them to an already good staff of guys coming back. We can all bitch and complain about the monies and this and that, but I have to tell you, they've done a great job in their farm system, and they've turned it into a lot of great players. So, listen, you go out and beat them. That's the best way I can say it. Go out and beat the Dodgers. Otherwise, good for them.
Even if a team is paying players and not producing homegrown players through a farm system, that's allowed. That's
Absolutely.
Part of the game. Okay.
100%.
So you can't get mad if a team wants to go out and buy whatever it is that they need, what they feel they need to advance their team in the playoffs. It just so happens that the Dodgers, what have they won, like 3 World Series in the last 10 years or something like that?
I think they're 2 in a row, and they won it in during the COVID era. They won the bubble one, I think, whatever they called it. So I think 2020 they won it, and then they've won the last 2. So and you're right, Frankie. But the onus, see, the problem is, how do you fix it? The players are never going to go for a salary cap, right? So what do? There's already a penalty for the Dodgers, for the Mets, for the Yankees, for going over. They have the luxury tax. They don't care. they're owned by a conglomerate of billion.
For baseball because
Go ahead.
it's just the Mets. Who cares?
Okay.
You said you might have been going to see Rush this week.
Did not go.
Oh, you didn't go?
No, I would have let it with the person who was going to get us tickets never got the tickets. And I thought about going anyway, but I had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I said, you know what? If I was going for free, I would have went. But to go by myself and pay, I wouldn't have did it. So I did not go see Rush.
I saw a friend of mine at the feast last month. Okay, he told me that his girlfriend bought tickets. Okay, she paid at least $500 a seat.
Yes, absolutely.
At least $500 a seat.
Yep.
That is in fucking sanity. Now I got to ask this question: what happens when it's
area? So it wasn't like a regular seat. They added 2 seats to the end of an aisle, like which let's say for hockey you couldn't use, but for a concert you could use it. So they put 2 folding chairs, and I paid almost $900 for 2 seats to see Elton John's last show. Now,
my God,
my wife's a big fan. No problem. What would I pay? Like if you said to me, let's go see Maiden's last show, what would be the most I would pay? Boy, oh boy. I would have to say I definitely would not go over 500.
Well, you're just saying you paid $450 a ticket average.
Yeah.
For Elton John. Now I understand it's Elton John. Don't get me wrong.
That's for my wife. I'm better spending money on you or my wife or somebody else than I am spending it on myself. So if it was for me, I don't know if I go that high for myself. That's what he's done.
Dude, I don't think that you'd be able to touch a McCartney ticket for $500.
Oh, I agree with you.
If and when he knows it's going to be his last show, I'm going to say $1,500 a ticket.
Oh, 100%. I'm just saying that would be what I would be willing
to do. I know, but I think that it would be out. The Maiden, their last show, I think it would be. I think that the price of the ticket would be more than $450. I think that it would just be insane. Yeah. I think absolutely insane.
Yeah,
the McCartney ticket, that's a mortgage.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like you said, I have a limit to what I'll spend of my hard-earned money to go see. I can't think of. I've thought about it a few times. Like, is there an event that I would go completely insane to go to? And I'm not sure. Like, I love the Giants and I love the Yankees. Like, if somebody, I've been to 4 Yankee World Series or 3 World Series games. Yeah, I've been to a bunch of playoff games, and I've been to, I would say, let's say, 2. I've probably been to 6 or 8 Yankee World Series games in my life. Concert is. When it's Kiss's last concert or Sabbath's last concert, it's truly the last. Even if the Yankees win the World Series and you go to this year's clinching game, there could be another one next year. There's always could be another one. Now, again, historic is always different. There's not many games that you can go to beforehand and know that it's a chance to be an historic game. Like, you don't go say, "Oh, I'm going to that game. That game's going to be historic." It's very rare. Now, you may go to a game that's historic or all time. It happens, but it's not as simple a thing. Now, Super Bowls, they're different. I've been to 2 Super Bowls. Those are a blast. That's something you go to just for the experience. To be honest with you.
Well, listen, as far as a historic game goes, if you have just an average Joe pitcher that's a 500 pitcher starting a World Series game, probably not going to be anything historic happening. But now, if you get the guy that was just like 23-1 and struck out 400 people for the season, that may be like, well, something good may happen here. I'm going to go for this one instead of that one, But yeah, you're right. Anything can happen from year to year. I understand that. But sometimes there's just certain players that are playing that you're like, I got to take a chance. And
that's different. Listen, I've got to see a lot of great Yankees, and Anthony, as far as I know, nothing's been said so far. Historic Super Bowl 73. Yeah, Frank Jeffries lucky. Here's a guy who went to the Dolphins Super Bowl win at their historic 16-0 season. That's that's a chance to be historic. Like if somebody went to the Patriot, like going to that Patriot Giant game where the Patriots could have went 19-0 or the Giant beat them. You know what? Whether you're a Giant fan or a Patriot fan or not, that's an historic game. I mean, you go there with a chance that's really historic. or it's a story because you knocked off the 18-0 team. So there are the games where you can. There are certain games, but for the most part, most games you go to, they could turn. Look at Frankie Catalano. He could have went to the Meadowlands and saw Seahawks Broncos. He didn't go, and they get blown out. Thank God he didn't go to that disaster of a game and all the bullshit trying to get in and out of that game. So, but
I wouldn't even want to fucking think about that, man.
Yeah.
Just going to a regular game at the Meadowlands was a pain in the ass, and
Yeah.
especially when you didn't have a permit to park on site.
yeah,
You were fucking driving to Pennsylvania to park.
It's I understand they had to make upgrades and stuff, but it used to be very simple. I mean, it'll be a little tough getting out of the parking lot sometimes, but there was plenty of parking. You can get a spot. You roll. Now it's such a nightmare. Unless you got whatever few parking spots there are, you have to drive off site. It's a nightmare to find just spot. I took my wife to a giant Redskin game 2 years ago. She wanted to go. I took her, and it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. They won one of the few games they won that year, But we were there an hour and a half early, and we still missed. I'm sorry, I'll say it's an hour early. We still missed basically the whole first quarter because you had to find the purple lot, and your driver say, "Hey, where's purple lot? Go 3 lots up and talk to the guy on the right. He'll help you. You get there. You passed it, but you got to go around." We took forever, and then you had to walk to it. And other times you got to park off-site and then get on a bus, and they take you, they drop you off, and then you got to get your bus. It's a nightmare. I don't enjoy going anymore. I don't miss not going. It's not on my radar screen. I've been giving tickets for free, my birthday presents, and I give the tickets away because I just don't want to go. I'd rather sit home and watch the games.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I just don't. Listen, I don't even like going to the fucking movies, much less going to concerts or games, because it's too much of a chore to get there. You go to a concert. Last time we went to go see Metallica at the Prudential Center a long time ago, and we went in the dead of winter, and we had to go to this lot, and they just kept telling you to go, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and then we had to walk. The whole thing was ice. So me and my wife were walking all over this ice. It was like 3 degrees out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then by the time we get in there, it's like, the seats are small. It's cramped. It sucks. And the same with sporting events, man. It's just not worth it. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah, again, I know I'm old and cranky. I mean, I've gone to so many games in the past, and I've been so lucky in my life to I've gotten to do so many of the events that I dreamed of. I mean, I've been to Stanley Cups, I've been to Final Fours, I've been to World Series, Super Bowls. I've gotten to do a lot of those. Click the box on a lot of those things that now. I got me and my man Frank Jeffrey. We had a dream. We're going to try to hit every stadium, watch a game in every stadium some point once all his health issues are cleared, and we can pull that off. To me, that's something I'd love to do. That I'd love to go to the Football Hall of Fame. I've never gone there. I've been to Canton, to Cooperstown a couple of times. So there's still some boxes. I'd like to go to Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, but you know what? Going to one of the Hall of Fames is a completely different situation, because you could end up going to the fucking Canton, Ohio in the middle of the summertime, where maybe they're not as packed as they would be during football season, or especially like this week while it's the Hall of Fame game. So you could plan that. That's a different story. But when you're going someplace and there's 20,000 other people there with you, it could be a pain in the balls. And especially, one day we went to go see a long time ago the Summer Sanitarium tour, I think it was, with Metallica and Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, and we went to go leave, and it took me like 2 hours to get out of the fucking parking lot. And then all you hear is crunch, 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 because as you're driving, you're running over bottles and all this broken glass. And you're just hoping that you don't got a flat. And then by the time you finally get the fuck home, you're like, Jesus Christ, it took me longer to get out of there than the fucking concert.
Yeah. No, I Catalano, they are some of those kind of events are fun. I went to I've only went to one All-Star game. I went to NHL All-Star game, and I've gone to the 99 baseball All-Star game in Fenway Park. And that was great because the home run derby was like Griffey, Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, that whole crowd. I watched that. I will always tell the story. I watched the baseball all-star game in the booth, sitting next, well, I would say kind of right behind Tim McCarver and Steve Carlton. That was a lot of fun. And I watched the actual game sitting on the roof of Fenway Park. It was one of the best experiences. That was the night they had Ted Williams out there and everybody came out. They introduced the top 20, top whatever it was, players of all time. Yogi was there. All the all the great players were, that were still alive in '99 were there. It was great experience. So all-star games are not bad. At least they used to be. It's 27 years since I went to one. So that was a cool one. So again, for me, I've done so many of those things. Like now it's like, all right, do I want, I've gone to a couple college football games, which to me are the best. I'd love to do a lot more of those. So, but again, back to Jeff's point, how much am I willing to pay for all of that? I don't know. But the experience of it,
a sports game, a sports event is much different than a fucking concert. I could see spending, X amount of dollars on one versus X amount of dollars on the other, because it's like the sport event is something completely different. You could look up online and be like, well, I already know what songs they're going to play, and I don't have to be there. It starts at 8, but I don't have to go until 8:30 because I can't stand the first 4 or 5 songs they're playing.
right.
So, I could take my time getting in there and sitting down. But a sporting event, depending on especially what it is, whether it's a game clinching for a series
Yep.
or just a special game, all-star game, a special guy pitching, or,
Yeah.
This guy hits a home run tonight, he'll set a home run record or whatever. That's a different story. So I could definitely see that point without a doubt. But me, I don't know. As far as a concert, it would have to be a pretty big one for me to, without saying that I'm going to spend
Yeah, again,
so
at
much
this
money
point,
on.
a concert, a concert wise, like I don't know, like I've gotten to go to. I went to not Live 8, Live 8. That was pretty cool. I've been to some festivals, so there's a lot of stuff I did. I get it. For me, obviously the last Maiden concert, last Maiden tour. I don't have to be the last concert because I'm sure the last concert will be in England. I would definitely do. I'm glad I got to watch the last Ozzy concert, even though I wasn't there. So again, I got to see the last Sabbath show with you. So that, the last tour. So that was pretty cool. So, again, there's stuff that right now, I think Maiden would be the only band that I would go, I got to go see the last show and I got to find a way to get there. That would probably be the only one because, it's kind of the one band that I've been a fan of my whole life, pretty much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Again, as far as, I would also rather go to a regular concert than I would rather go to a regular game, because I think it's a lot more meaningful and it's probably a lot easier to deal with than going to the games nowadays. It's so difficult going to Yankee Stadium or even Citi Field, and forget about going to the Meadowlands. It's just a nightmare. So for me,
yeah, but you want to know something? If you go to a sporting event and you leave early, you're not going to be as pissed. A concert, you got to stay to the end.
True.
And especially if it's a monumental concert like Maiden's last show or another band's last show, you're going to be like, well, I can't leave. I got to stay here and watch this.
Yeah.
But I hear you. But at least if it's a sporting event, you're like, they're getting blown out. I'm not staying for this. I can't be bothered.
No, I definitely hear you. And that's a good, more than likely I would make my way back to the city. It'd probably be easier for me to make my way back to the Midtown Tunnel and then cross through the city to the Lincoln and then head home. Otherwise, trying to maneuver down, from Citi Field without going on the belt. I mean, I could do even that wind up on the Van. It's a tough one for me. I'd find a way, but it wouldn't be as easy as probably just heading back to the Lincoln Tunnel, to the Queens Midtown, back to the Lincoln. So, yeah.
Oh my God,
and Frankie, you're right. It's a great place, and it's good. I don't know how they're going to make it better, but they're building this basically casino entire city over there with hotels and stuff. They took away a lot of the parking, so I hope Cohen knows what he's doing, because he's got a great baseball park. I mean, that is a beautiful place to go see a game.
Tom, I
It
got to
really
take a
is.
squirt real
Go
quick.
ahead,
I'll be right back.
God bless you. Yeah, it's a great place to see a game. It's just they've made it, from what I understand. I have not been there in the last couple of years, but a buddy of mine goes all the time, and he's got season tickets and parking passes, and he said it's a nightmare trying to park and stuff there. So, but it's no different than going to Yankee Stadium. I hate going to Yankee Stadium by car. It's a nightmare. So, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it is what it is. You build these cities, these stadiums, and then you try to do, a baseball stadium, a football stadium, or now in that case, a soccer stadium, and then you got to build a casino, and then you go, great, we got all these people coming. Where you parking them? You're building a 20-story parking garage that'll take you 3 hours to get your car out of. Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, I'm just getting old and grumpy, I think, and I don't look forward to. I don't look forward sometimes to going to games, but I kind of push myself, and I got that feeling sometimes that I've been there, done it. I've been to so many games, I've been to so many of those type of events that it's like I don't want to do it again. But when your kids want to, or your grandkids start to want to, it changes the whole trajectory. Again, Jeff and Tom, happy Thursday. Looking forward to spending some quality time this weekend with the family and getting some rest. I'm a little tired, but otherwise, glad you guys tuned in. I think we're going to end the show a little early. I'll see when Jeff gets back. I agree. I'm going to the Yankee game tomorrow. Every year, me and my son go for a game. Good for you, Frank. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I love the way this kid plays. I don't know, Frankie, how much you watched it, but I'm sure you saw it. But Lombard, whether he has a great career or not, I don't know. But I love the way he plays the position, and he's got a nice swing. So we'll see. Let's see what else I got for you. Sebastian Bach is singing with Twisted Sister. I'm not sure why. That's an interesting combination, Jeff, for me.
I would say, yeah, but you know what, dude? Somebody's got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at some point, your drummer's gone. I don't even think Mark the Animal's there anymore, and now D Snyder's out. So you're down to JJ French. Who's the other guitar player?
Eddie Ojeda.
So I think you're down to those two guys being the last two guys in the band.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's just an interesting one for me. We talked. I think that's all that's on my plate tonight, Jeff. And I think I got some stuff going on. I think I'm gonna basically end the show a little early this week. I got a couple things I need to do before I turn in, and I think I'm about talked out tonight anyway.
You all right?
Yeah. Everything's good. Just there's a lot of family stuff, all good stuff going on, and I think I might have to prepare to get out of town and head to South Carolina tomorrow night for the weekend. So I just got a text message, and I'll see what happens. But I have to kind of now pack a bag and be ready to vamoose. Frank had a lot of a good night. Frank Jeffrey, I'll talk to you guys. Thank you very much. So, but in about an hour, if you're up, give me a shout if you want to play a game. I'm going to be, I got a couple things to do. And then in about an hour, I'm going to probably sit down and play a little Madden.
Let me know when you're ready to go.
Okay.
All right. Because I don't have anything going on really. I just got to go talk to my wife about something.
Okay.
So I'm not going to get on, and then let me know.
All right, let me see what the next hour brings with what's going on in my personals, and if everything's good, I'll send you a text and we'll jump on and play a couple of games. But in the meantime, guys, it's been a great show. You guys have been a big help getting us through an hour and a half. I thank everybody for their patience and tuning in and for all the help. And, of course, I wish you guys to have a great weekend. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but please be safe and be careful. And on behalf of Jeff and myself, I wish you a great rest of your night, a great rest of your weekend, a great weekend. We'll have a great week also and come back next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together and do this all over again. So for Jeff, myself, and all the kiddies here at Hard Rocket Sports, have a great night and a great weekend. Hefe, I'll talk to you soon. Anthony,
All
good
right,
night,
dude.
sir.
See you
Good night,
later. Bye.